Welcome, tech enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into how to download and install Blender, a powerful 3D creation suite that's completely free and open source. Let's jump right in and get you set up with this amazing software. First, let's head to Blender's official website. Fire up your preferred browser and type Download Blender in the search bar. Look for the top result that leads to blender.org. That's our target. Once you're on their website, scroll down until you spot a big blue download button. This button is pre-configured to download the default Windows version, which is perfect for most users. However, if you're using Mac OS, Linux, or need a different version, look for the drop-down arrow labeled Mac OS, Linux, and other versions right next to the download button. Give that a click to reveal all your options. If you prefer a version that doesn't need installation, you can choose Windows Portable with a zip extension. For those who like keeping their software managed through official channels, there's a Windows Microsoft Store version. If you're using an ARM-based device, look for the Windows ARM version, specifically designed for your hardware. Mac users have choices too. You'll find options for both Intel and Apple Silicon processors. Linux enthusiasts can choose between standard Linux versions or grab it from the Linux Snap Store. If you're a gamer who likes keeping everything in one place, there's even a Steam version available. And for the developers among us, you'll find source code options. If you prefer compiling Blender yourself, once you've selected the version that matches your needs, click on it to start the download. Your browser will ask where you'd like to save the file. Click Save and watch as the download progress bar fills up. This might take a few minutes depending on your internet speed, so feel free to grab a quick drink while you wait. Now that the download is complete, let's navigate to where you saved the file. Double-click the installer to launch it, and we'll begin the setup process. When the Blender Setup wizard appears, click Next to continue. The installation wizard will then present you with a license agreement. Take a moment to read through it if you'd like, then click Accept to proceed. Click Next to continue to the feature selection screen. You'll notice that Blender and libraries are already selected by default. These are the core program and essential components you'll need. No need to change anything here unless you have specific requirements. Now, here's something worth considering. If you'd prefer to install Blender on a different drive, click the Browse button. This is particularly useful if you're managing space across multiple storage devices. Once you're satisfied with your selections, let's move forward. When you're ready to proceed, click Install to begin the installation process. Give your computer a moment to work its magic. Blender's files are being copied and configured for your system. Once the progress bar reaches completion, click Finish to close the installer. Look at your desktop. You should now see the Blender shortcut icon ready and waiting. Double-click that icon to launch Blender for the first time. When Blender opens, you'll be greeted with the initial configuration screen. Let's take a moment to personalize these settings to match your preferences. First, look at the language drop-down menu at the top. While English is the default, you can choose your preferred interface language if you're more comfortable working in another language. Next, you'll see the theme option. By default, Blender uses its signature dark theme, but if you prefer working with lighter colors, you can adjust this to suit your visual preferences. Now, let's look at the keymap setting. This is particularly important as it determines how your keyboard shortcuts will work. The default Blender keymap is recommended for new users since most tutorials you'll find online use these shortcuts. However, if you're coming from an older version of Blender, you might want to select Blender 27X to maintain familiar shortcuts. For those transitioning from other 3D software like Maya or 3ds Max, the industry-compatible option will feel more natural. Moving down, you'll find the mouse select option. This determines which mouse button you'll use for selecting objects. The left button is now the standard choice, matching most modern software. However, if you're a longtime Blender user, you might prefer the traditional right button selection. Finally, let's configure your spacebar action. This setting determines what happens when you press the spacebar key. You have three options here. Play is perfect if you'll be doing a lot of animation work, as it starts and stops animation playback. Tools gives you quick access to commonly used functions. If you're new to Blender, I recommend selecting Search. This turns your spacebar into a powerful search tool, helping you quickly find any command or feature you need while learning the interface. And there you have it, tech enthusiasts. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tech tips and tricks. Until next time, happy creating!